This is the fall 2016 end of quarter video for collective experiences. This quarter we covered the three areas, design, technology, and research, all pretty thoroughly. We started off the quarter with a lot of focus on research and design, and this spanned for about the first 4 sprints, as you can see here. We wanted to understand why people feel connected to their community, so we can create experiences that drive community connectedness. We also wanted to understand what makes an experience enjoyable, so people will want to participate in these experiences. And lastly, how can experiences be made more meaningful based on a user's situational context? One of the ideas we looked at was how to use the situational context of users and opportunistic methods to lower the psychological and physical distance between people. And when we talk about spatial proximity, we don't necessarily mean the physical distance between 2 points, but rather the similarity of people's physical context. So, for example, people who are in ramen restaurants can share a sort of physical proximity based on their context without being in the exact same ramen restaurant. So with that in mind, we brainstormed a new set of experiences that are driven by the situational context of the user. And here are a few examples of those experiences. The first experience, write a motivational message, involves a whiteboard or some kind of writing space in order for the experience to be completed successfully. So the user would have to be in a location that has that whiteboard or blackboard affordance. Similarly, users have to be in a park in order to participate and clean up the park, and they have to be in a coffee shop in order to participate in the coffee shop experience. And all of these experiences are specific to a user's situational context and the affordances of their context. So that means what is in that location and what can be done at that location. So to implement experiences with affordances, we integrated the Anecdote Aware API, which is another project in DTR breaking boundaries with our current Cerebro platform. The Anecdote Aware API basically takes in a specific location, so the latitude and longitude coordinates of that location, and it returns the affordances and other details of that location. So here is an example of the output when we enter Coffee Lab's coordinates. We see that the affordances at Coffee Lab are eat, people, people watch, and sit. And some of the other tags at that location include coffee, food, people, and tables. And our goal with this was to be able to create experiences with affordances, get the user's location, and see what affordances their location has. And if a user's location has an affordance that matches the experience's affordance, then we would trigger a notification to that specific user to participate in the experience. And only users whose location has that affordance would be notified. So in order to integrate Anecdote Aware API with Cerebro, we made some changes to the code base, and that included modifying the experience schema and the notification process. So this is the current Cerebro app. Not much has changed, as you can see, but if you go to the Create page, you'll see this new section called Affordances. So in this Affordances section, you can tag the experience you create with a specific affordance. For example, if we want to run the experience motivational message, that encourages people to write message on whiteboards. Motivational message. One of the affordances for this experience can be whiteboard. So in the affordance area, I would just enter the text whiteboard. And then when I launch that experience, when I submit that experience, it gets launched. So I can see that specific experience, and when I see it in detail, I see that the affordance whiteboard has been added to that experience. So when an experience with an affordance is launched, the affordances of all users' locations will be retrieved, and only users whose location has an affordance equal to the experience affordance will be notified. So in this example, only users whose locations has the affordance whiteboard will be notified of this experience when it's launched. So the goal of this integration is to target participants based on their situational context, such as weather, time, and affordances in their location. And through these collective experiences, users will be connected to others in the same context. Looking forward to the next quarter, we'll be working more closely with Affordance Aware API so that we can further combine this Affordance Aware / collective experience concept. And another thing we hope to do next quarter is to conduct a user test. So we'll be running a few experiences that have an affordance tag, see if the right users get notified, and we also want to observe how participation is affected by these context-aware experiences.